Okay, you know what? Having gotten into arguments with people who have memory for the exact turn of phrase that you used like a week ago, I was feeling the pain of this right off. The entire history of you. Last episode of the first season of Black Mirror. So this one is interesting, which that's a lame term for me to open with. They're all interesting. So I had to kind of think on this one a little bit after watching it. Usually I shoot these videos within 10 minutes of seeing it. This one I had to think on for, I don't know, maybe almost an hour or so, to sort of land and settle and sort of get my read on it and exactly what it might have been that it was trying to go for. And I don't mean that in a it was unfocused way. I mean that in the layering of this technology and sort of the roots of it, or what I presume to be the roots of it, and the parallels to technology as it currently exists are a little bit different from some of the other things that are going on with it. I think it is to a certain degree interpretable as to what sort of the central focus of the thing is. I'm kind of rambling now. Okay, to sort of get what I'm talking about, when they're all just kind of sitting around, you know, playing back memories, and it brought to mind basically like going through your old Facebook or Instagram feed, or YouTube videos in my case, and just, you know, rather than experiencing anything new, you're just revisiting and remixing the stuff you already did. You're dwelling on the past, rather than really taking in a bunch of new experiences. And anytime something's going on that you're kind of not into, you just, I'll just escape back to what things were once before. And like I made that connection. But beyond that, what I kind of latched on to, and maybe this isn't the same for everybody, it's the fact that humans aren't wired with the intention that they will have perfect recollection. And the fact that we have the ability to a certain degree, choose how we remember things is kind of important, like to our function and our ability to live as social animals. Because the minute you can go back and see to a certainty exactly what was said with the exact inflection, with, you know, all of it, then you then have to deal with that, and you can pick all of that apart, and there is a validity to choosing to failing to notice a detail, to choosing to remember it a way that maybe makes your life easier, maybe makes somebody else's life easier. And yet at the same time, the way this particular story is told, it's very obvious that pretty much everybody involved is not a good person for different reasons, but kind of across the board. And, you know, you have to wonder, you know, what is the point at which we lose the value of being able to confirm that, you know, crack open the secrets that somebody's keeping. Is that worth all the rest of it? It seems pretty clear to me that the lead character decided no, it wasn't. You know, Liam, as he's walking through his empty house, replaying what it used to be like when his wife was still there, until he gets to the point where he digs that thing out. And that was, when this show does gore and just gruesome, painful moments, it lingers on them. And I mean, I'm not a gore hound. I don't consider myself a wuss either, but it's when things linger, and just really let it stretch out and play out, and the camera doesn't cut away. That's when I start to squirm a little bit, and so that had it going on. Performances. So Toby Kebbell, it was nice to see him in something that's good where I can see his face, because up to this point, the only good things I'd seen him in, he was an ape. So, but he was good. He wasn't likable. was kind of a jerk. Not kind of, he was a jerk, and right off the bat as well. And then Jodie Whittaker, and I feel like this is the best I've gotten for getting a sense of Jodie Whittaker as an actress, because I tried watching Broadchurch and I only got through the first episode, and it wasn't bad. I wasn't like, this is junk. It just failed to grab me enough for me to set aside the time in my schedule I would have needed to watch the rest of the thing. So I feel like I'm watching Jodie Whittaker effectively for almost the first time, because I'm getting to see a complete story and a complete performance from her. And she does very well, and it's I was going to say there's a lot of nuance, but it's funny. It's one of those things where, like, I almost want to say you go back and look, but I don't have to say that. The episode does it itself. Actually track back and look and get a real zeroing in on her reactions, her inflections, and the things she says. But in the memories that Liam is revisiting at the very end, she is exuding that warmth, and you understand why he's clinging to that and why he's playing back those memories. But we also get the fact that it's very, very obvious that they are not working and they are very unhappy, and she has the way she has chosen to cope with that. Not exactly okay either. Like I said, there's really no good people in this particular story. And it's funny, I was kind of waiting for a twist, and it doesn't really do that. It just lets it play out. It lets the realistic end, result of people who just live with this stuff in their head, that it lets them play back stuff and put it up on a screen for other people to see. It just lets that play out. It doesn't have a ooh surprise thing or a sudden revelation. It just follows the strand to a dark and oh boy, that would be awful, kind of place. That said, I really like, there's a moment in the dinner scene early on where one of the guests explains why she thinks it's so important to have this device. And part of it was the way the line was written, but a big part of it was her performance. You felt that sense of, I couldn't possibly. And again, that's sort of where I made that connection to social media, because I think, there are people, and I don't think either one is inherently right or wrong, but there are certainly people out there who make the choice to more or less unplug from social media and feel better and more relaxed and more at ease and more themselves. And then there are other people who, that's the primary way they connect with some of the really important people in their lives. That's how they keep track of their memories and what's gone on. And the idea of not having that, of not having a reliable connection, a reliable record, is a scary prospect for some people. And I don't know who the actress was who delivered that line, but she delivered it with a sense of heartfeltness that I think it needed, because if that hadn't been there, the episode would have kind of run the risk of, well, how do we get to the point where people even do this? Like, you think about it for more than 30 seconds, you'd go, boy, maybe this isn't a great idea. But, or you think, God, maybe people would get installed, but wouldn't everybody like get rid of it after a while? But then you hear that argument. And as much as, us as viewers can think, boy, I can think of a million ways that this thing can go wrong, and then we get to see some of them play out. It was nice to have that sort of very heartfelt argument in favor of the technology. And I think that helped create a sense of realism to the world. Really odd detail. I don't know if it means anything. It just struck me as odd. How old-fashioned the cars were. Like with the gear shift up here and everything. Like, it was weird. Like they were self-driving, but when he drives it himself, it's like a 1970s kind of car. It was odd. And it wasn't just his. It was kind of funky. I don't know if that means anything, but it was a detail I noticed, and If that means something, somebody tell me, because it's still sticking in my head. Oh, the other little detail that made me think about social media is that we get to see, and again, it's not lingered on, and it's not a twist, and it's not like where the story's going, but it's a moment that happens. We see very clearly that their baby has this thing in its head. Wasn't given a choice. It just got put in. And, you know, again, linking it back to social media, there are parents that basically set up social media accounts for their kids, even if they're babies, that, you know, with the intention that when they grow up old enough, they'll actually take it over themselves, but there'll be all this backlog of memories and pictures and from when you were a baby. And it's like, on the one hand, it's like, oh, that's kind of nice, we've got the record and everything. On the other hand, it's like, you're not giving them a choice. And it's a funny thing to think about, because it's something that seems innocuous, but you think about it for a little bit and it's like, that maybe that's weird. Maybe that's odd. Maybe that's a little sinister. And again, just little details like that. And it was just interesting to see how this technology played out, putting additional strain, or not additional strain, making the strain of a relationship manifest. Because the technology certainly didn't create the problem. The problem is these people. The problem is this relationship. This relationship isn't working. The technology isn't helping the situation, and it's facilitating the damage, but it's not the cause of it. So it was really interesting to see that play out. I think, that being said, for the first season, which is only 3 episodes, and they're all good, it's probably my least favorite of the first season. I think I'm going to give 15 Million Merits the top spot, with the national anthem just squeaking in behind it. It's like a really close call between those two. And the entire history review is good. It's certainly very good. But out of these 3, that I comfortably can put that one at the bottom, and then it's really close, but I think I got to put 15 Million Merits ahead of it. I'm not in a mindset where I'm up for comparing these to the episodes of season 4 that I've seen, but I figured it was worth ranking them within the season itself. So that's it for season 1 of Black Mirror. So in a week, I'll start working on season 2. So the entire history of you. Oh, last detail. I love the effect on the eyes when they're playing that stuff back. It is vaguely creepy, and that was a good touch. So what were your thoughts on this thing? Whatever they are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Do all the stuff with likes and subscribes and Twitter followers and Patreon support. Maybe just check out the page, see if it's worth your money. You know, it's a thought. Links for all that stuff is down below. So until next time, this council is adjourned.